Here I am representative of three groups, namely DOLOKSARIBU, RUTLINA SIHOMBING, KHATRIN, Nisha, Natania or me, and the RUTLINA GIRSANG, with topic the collaborative self-directed learning and implementing professional development, teacher's perspective, and institutional perspective. Keep watching video group presentation.
And I want to tell you about our article, the part of our article. I want to tell you about the background. In the background, I will tell you about the definition of collaborative learning, self-directed learning, and self-studying. And also I want to tell you about the framework from the framework of teacher perspective and institutional perspective. The definition of the collaborative learning is the teaching method where the students studying with the group, so the student make the group in a small group so they can study and they can get the common of goal, like jointly with others. So the situation of studying is very nice, something like that. And I want to tell you about the definition of self-directed learning. What is self-directed learning? It is the teaching method that the student studying alone, but they can help by the teacher, something like that. So in this step, it is the individual step to study, self by self, something like that. So I want to tell you about the definition of self-studying again. Self-studying is the learning method that can use the student, can use by the student without in the classroom and without by the teacher. So they can study like in the garden or in the cafe, something like that, so they can enjoy it. So I want to tell you about the framework of teacher perspective again. The framework of the teacher's perspective is the role of the learning situation in the class. So the teacher is the center, something like that. So the teacher and the student, they can have the something like the interaction, the good interaction. And if the student didn't know about the material, the student can ask the teacher, something like that. So they can so there is there are have interaction, something like that. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, I will continue for my friends. Context of study. In some educational contexts, it is important to consider a student's language background, which can differ greatly from students to students due to social and academic opportunities. As a result, students' attitude toward foreign language learning may be framed in personal interests and skills. Heterogeneous levels of language within the same class are often found, even when at the university when this acquisition took place, placement tests have been used indeed. Even within the same class, there are often students with better received skill than others. The students simultaneously have the better productive skills, perhaps because they have the opportunity to travel abroad and gain confidence by speaking second language. Obviously, this is a big advantage over other students who feels say about speaking in the target language and don't take risks speaking. The importance of collaboration self-directed. But before that, I want to tell you about the definition of collaboration. Collaboration is a form social process where there are certain activities that aim to achieve common goals by helping and understanding each other's activities. Collaborative learning is a powerful approach where individuals come together to build knowledge and achieve common goals. Collaborative learning is a meaningful and useful tool in an academic environment to leverage the strengths and abilities of each participant and utilize them to achieve common goals in more effective form. This collaborative self-directed plays a key role in the development of assignment designed to develop and improve oral fluency in students. Taking into account the characteristic of independent collaborative work, this study proposes a series of texts in which participants are free to make decisions and develop autonomy with respect to purpose, activities, and therefore self-direct their learning process and style based on their roles in a group. Similarly, Duke and Costa 2017 argue that a high level of awareness of learning strategies make students more responsible for their own results.
Okay, my friend, in here I want to tell you the method of collaborative and technique collaborative, and then the method of self-directed and the technique of self-directed. Okay, the first is the method of collaborative. Gogel defines that collaborative learning refers to a teaching method in which students in groups of varying skill level work together in small groups that lead to common goals. And in here, I want to tell you 10 the techniques of collaborative. The first is technique collaborative studying together. Number 2, team game tournament. Number 3, group investigation. Number 4, economic constructive controversy. Number 5, jigsaw procedure. Number 6, student team achievement division. Number 7, complex instructions. And number 8, team accelerated instruction. And number 9, cooperative learning structure. And the last is cooperative integrate reading and compositions. And in here I want to tell you the method of self-directing. Self-studying is a learning method where students direct their own studying outside the classroom and without direct supervision. Since students are able to take control of what or and how they are learning, self-study can be a very valuable way for many students to learn. Direct instruction is the use of straightforward, explicit teaching techniques usually to teach a specific skills. It's a teacher-directed method, meaning that the teacher stands in front of a classroom and presents the information. And here I want to tell the techniques of self-directing. The first is the pre-planning or the initial activity of the learning process. Number 2, create a positive learning environment. Number 3, develop a lesson plan. Number 4, identify appropriate learning activities. Number 5, carry out learning and monitoring activities. Number 6, evaluate individual learning outcomes. And then the next slide will continue by my friends Nisha, Sitio.
Okay, now I'm here. I will explain my topic about first, student perspective of self-directed, 2, collaborative and self-learning tools. Okay, I will explain the first, student perception of self-directed. Self-directed learning, or CDL, is an amplified and preferred learning process to prepare student profession and make to them up to date. The purpose of the study to explore students following a hybrid curriculum in experience to CDL and the support of several learning activities from the curriculum on their CDL. Teachers' role in SDL. Teachers have to task SDL. They must help students acquire discipline-specific knowledge and develop a set of SDL competencies. Conclusion, self-directed. Although the study implied that components of the hybrid curriculum could encourage students' self-directed learning, the curriculum is still not free from teacher-centered. Majority of teachers still have high power in deciding the learning process. Okay guys, I will explain the last topic about collaborative and self-learning tools. Collaborative is one of the most challenging and exciting ventures for today's school. It's aimed at bringing the importance of collaborative learning. The call for inquiry learning is based on the conviction that science learning is more than the memorization of scientific facts and information, but rather about understanding and applying scientific concepts and methods. So supporting planning. An option to support planning is divide complex tasks into an ordered list or an unordered activities. Inclusion and evaluation activities. Students extract the result from the inquiry. Conclusion might be drawn from data and in comparison with models, theories, and other experiments. I think until here I explain my topic. I apologize if mistake saying. Thank you.
Hello guys, good afternoon for all of us. So, in this afternoon, I want to tell you about the implementing of professional development. But in this topic, we have two parts more. Okay, the first is teacher's perspective and the second is institutional perspective. But before I tell you about all of them, let me introduce myself because every website announces a lot. Okay, my name is HOTLINDA RODEARNI GIRSANG and I'm the student of HKBP NOMMENSEN PEMATANGSIANTAR, and my academic number is 1801030111 and 6. Okay, now we continue to the teacher's perspective. Okay guys, now we will continue for the first topic, namely teacher's perspective. Okay, implementation and continuous support developing competency standards on paper is one thing, but implementing them in practice is another. Okay, today teacher's perspective is on two parts. For the first, positive perspective and negative perspective. A positive perspective will also produce positive results. Of course, it must be based on strong and accurate efforts. They have a system and paradigm in teaching and learning process and increase student creativity. While negative perspective will build negative seeds. Many teachers have worked from negative perspective. The word perspective comes from Italian language perspective, which means view, image. Okay guys, now we go on to the second perspective, namely institutional perspective. Institutional perspective is the backbone of any successful or effective educational organization in a high-quality teaching staff. It follows that a well-designed professional development program is indispensable for the preparing teacher and for changing expectations and programs. Moreover, institutional perspective is one of the 6 items of teacher development requirement is to understand how our roles change according to the kind of learners and we are teaching. The deep meaning of this development is the process has an institutional dimension because kinds of students change with regard to this institution in which the teacher works. Okay guys, I think that's all about my explanation about the implementing professional development in teacher's perspective. Okay guys, I think that's all about my explanation about the implementing professional development in teacher's perspective and also institutional perspective. Hope you enjoy it guys.